Resurrection. Our whole faith hinges on it. I mean, after all, if Jesus hasn't been raised, if he isn't alive, then as Paul says, we are to be pitied. We in the church have wasted our time and energy. But indeed, Christ is alive. He has been raised, and therefore we have hope. And more than hope, we have a mission. The mission of the disciples, the real reason Jesus called them and invested so much time and energy in them, is so that they could be witnesses to the power of the risen Jesus. The power to forgive sins, to free prisoners, to comfort those who grieve, to heal those who are broken, reconcile those who are divided, and raise those who have died. This is the power of the risen Christ in the lives of people. Jesus changes lives, and this is good news. The purpose for which the disciples had been called is this: to be witnesses to the good news of Jesus, and to point people toward a relationship with the risen Christ. That is what the whole story has been leading up to. In fact, the book of Acts, the sequel, the second half of the story, is really all about how the disciples did their job, how they served as witnesses, pointing others to Jesus. As new people encountered the risen Christ, they were in turn sent out to be witnesses to others. But back to our story. If the whole point of Jesus' ministry with the disciples was to turn them into witnesses, then what does that say about us? What it says is that the pinnacle of discipleship, the goal, the end game, so to speak, is to be witnesses who invite others into a life-changing relationship with Jesus. That sounds simple, maybe obvious to some of you, but we're in danger of missing the point all the time. Many of us believe that what it means to be a mature Christian, a deeply committed Christ follower, is to pray every day, or read the Bible, or study history, or go to church every Sunday without missing. While these practices and disciplines are important, they are only important insofar as they train, inspire, and equip us to be witnesses. To steal an idea from Paul, if we know the Bible inside and out, pray for hours every day, volunteer at church, but are not witnesses, we are nothing more than a clanging gong or a clashing cymbal. Witnessing to Jesus' resurrection and the difference it can make in our life, in our neighbors' lives, our cities, our world, that's what it's all about. This work can't be relegated to a committee or left to those who have a personality for it. This isn't one of many important things the church ought to do. This is the thing. And it is a call that all of us have by virtue of our baptism. I hope the risen Christ has changed your life. I trust that he has and is continuing to do so even today. But think about this. You have the capacity to be a witness. You're positioned in a place with certain gifts, unique struggles, and a powerful story. God has placed people around you and given you relationships that no one else has. God has worked in your life in a way that can inspire, comfort, and offer hope to others. The reason Jesus saved you is so that you can join him in the work of witnessing to God's kingdom. As you end your study of Luke, it's good to ask hard questions about the resurrection. What happened? How did it happen? What exactly do we have to believe about it? Those questions are interesting, and they make for great study. Ask them, talk about them, come up with answers, and learn the perspectives of others. But don't forget that more important than any of those questions is this one: how will I witness to the resurrected Jesus? That, after all, is the whole point.